Chapter 45. Why are you always staring at me? Han Yi stared blankly at the description displayed before him. This attribute is powerful. My efficiency in learning techniques will greatly increase in the future, and I can continuously enhance my mental strength. He couldn't help but look again at the woman below him, her face hidden behind a book. How many more attributes can she drop? Han Yi saw a small part of Chu Jianyu's slender white leg exposed from beneath her skirt. And he suddenly realized something. Wait a minute, did his foot just touch her? Would that cause any accidents? After all, he now had something called the Heavenly Slaughter Lone Star attribute on him. If someone casually touched him, they would experience intense misfortune. Just as Han Yi was thinking this, a row of jade slips high up on the bookshelf behind him toppled over, all due to his turning around. They all dropped to the edge, moved slightly, and now thump, all gradually falling. Thump, thump. All the heavy jade slips fell down towards the top of Chu Jianyu's head. Han Yi reacted swiftly but was only able to catch 3 or 4. The rest brushed past him. Just as Han Yi thought the jade slips would hit Chu Shanyu and he was already planning to apologize, an uncanny scene occurred. All of those jade slips miraculously fell all around Chu Shanyu without any landing on her head. Swish! Just then, a crop of majestic purple light once again surged up from the top of Chu Jianyu's head and fell to the ground. Acquired attributes: Heaven Sent Fortune plus R. Heaven Sent Fortune Purple, bringer of good fortune, continuously lucky, repeatedly able to turn danger into safety. Han Yi finally understood upon seeing this attribute. Chu Shanyu had an augmenting fortune, disasters kept away from her, which is why she expertly averted the crisis. This attribute is also good. The world of cultivation is perilous, full of various hardships. Many times, it relies on luck. Having good luck is crucial. Heaven Sent Fortune was also very useful to him. If that's the case, doesn't that mean his Heavenly Slaughter Lone Star doesn't have an effect on Chu Shanyu? Does it neutralize the bad luck when one good fortune attribute countering one bad? Hanya truly couldn't anticipate having Heavenly Slaughter Lone Star and Heaven Sent Fortune, two completely opposing attributes, on his body. If he were to confront enemies in the future, wouldn't he add bad luck to his enemies? Enhance his own good luck, greatly increase his survival rate? The treasure girl was indeed a treasure girl, with such useful attributes on her body. Reflecting on this, he had already acquired 4 attributes from Chu Shanyu. Dao Heart like a rock, Sword Art Mastery, Book-smelling intelligence, and Heaven Sent Fortune, 2 of which were majestic purple level attributes. These were the most and the best quality attributes he had ever found on one person. If he wanted to gather all these attributes, he would have to get along well with Chu Shanyu and follow after her. Han Yi looked at Chu Shanyu, his thoughts drifting off. Are you not reading? Why are you always staring at me? At this moment, a faint and soft voice without any emotions sounded in Han Yi's mind. Han Yi saw a pair of clear eyes revealed from behind the book in her hands, and finally realized that this was Chu Shanyu communicating with him through the sound transmission technique. Yes, why didn't I think of that? Although one can't speak aloud in the book collection pavilion, they can communicate using the sound transmission technique. It was only then that Han Yi remembered that he had just learned the sound transmission technique and could put it into practice straight away. He also transmitted his true key and said, "I'm sorry, I bumped into you earlier. I was thinking about how to apologize to you. It's okay. You should sit somewhere else. It's a bit uncomfortable having you stand in front of me." Han Yi's gaze scanned over the 4 characters Central Earth brief history on the book in her hands, shrugged, and agreed. All right, he silently left the corner. Watching Han Yi's retreating figure, Chu Shanyu put down the book in her hand, her eyes reflecting some sort of struggle. In the next 7 days, Han Yi kept moving between the Pure Yang Peak and the book collection pavilion in a straight line, undergoing Elder Gai's rigorously tailored training on the Pure Yang Peak during the day, climbing the mountain with heavy rocks weighing 10,000 pounds for 300 laps, learning how to circulate true ki with the inner sect disciples, practicing meditation to enhance his spiritual power, fortifying his body with spiritual medicines and practicing the dragon sparrow key nurturing technique in his spare time, circulating ki, absorbing spiritual ki, hoping to step into the ki pool realm soon. In the late afternoon, he would go to the book collection pavilion to study spells. Every time, he would see Chu Shanyu sitting alone in a corner, both of them silently reading books. Although they didn't talk, Han Yi could nonetheless feel that Chu Shanyu gradually got used to his presence. From initially covering her face with a book to later revealing her veil and then allowing him to sit a bit closer to her. The two can be said to have almost no interaction. Even if there were, it was just a brief exchange of glances. Naturally, Han Yi hoped to pick up more attributes from her. But after 7 days, he could still only pick up book-smelling intelligence, about a dozen points a day. After 7 days, the progress wasn't too bad either. Book-smelling intelligence 120500, acquainting with everything and reading extensively will enhance comprehension, enrich spiritual power, and greatly improve reading efficiency. The speed and comprehension at which he reads cultivation manuals are visibly improving. He could only learn 2 or 3 small techniques on the first day. Now, after 7 days, he had already finished reading the complete introduction to spells. Moreover, he had learned basic techniques such as the hiding body technique, sound transmission technique, quicksand technique, entangling technique, fireball technique, etc. And thanks to his high reading efficiency, he had familiarized himself with various maps and detailed localities, thus gaining a comprehensive understanding of the various demons, ghosts, and the customs of this world. Upon consulting the materials, Han Yi found that his current location was known as Central Earth, and Great Zhou, where he had stayed before, was a huge dynasty, backed by the Immortal Gate in this world, and had the support of the Immortal Gate behind it. Cultivation sects are divided into 4 levels: Beyond Heaven, Blessed Land, Cave Heavens, and Treasure Peak. Each is divided into upper, middle, and lower levels. The so-called Immortal Gate is the top sect in the 9 heavens and 10 earths, which at least all belong to Beyond Heaven. Entities such as the Dragon Sparrow sect are located in the high-rank Blessed Land. If Treasure Peak is a mountain range with limited cultivation opportunities, it can only support thousands of cultivators. Then cave heavens are naturally formed, strewn all over with cave mansions, which are continuous mountain ranges, containing many opportunities and able to support tens of thousands of cultivators. However, all cave heavens are divided among sects and large dynasties. Half are jointly occupied by top sects, and half are deserted, becoming ruins, secret realms, and barren lands. Blessed Land is favored by the heavens and brimming with fortune, capable of supporting hundreds of thousands of cultivators. Qinyun State was initially a blessed land and was occupied by cultivators. The Dragon Sparrow sect is the largest sect here. The 8th day. Like always, Han Yi came to the book collection pavilion, intending to study a slightly more complex defensive spell for self-protection, and unexpectedly found that the book in Chu Jianyu's hand changed to Atlas of the 4 domains of heaven and earth. Unable to contain his curiosity, he transmitted his voice and asked, "Miss Chu, why do you study world maps every day? Don't you need to study cultivation techniques?" Chu Shanyu was now capable of talking without covering her face with a book, but she still kept her veil, and her eyes carried the same calmness, as if she didn't wish to talk to others. "I'm more interested in the outside world, and as for cultivation techniques, I've already learned them all." Han Yi hesitated for a moment, seemingly forgetting that the girl in front of him was a genius. He sighed and said, "I envy you. You can learn anything quickly and easily." Chu Shanyu shook her head. "What's there to be envious of? I'm envious of you too." Hearing this, Han Yi was stunned. "Are you envious of me? But what's there to be envious of about me?" Chu Shanyu blinked her eyes and emphasized, "You have a bunch of good friends, don't you?" As if she remembered something, her eyes dimmed. "I was born into a family that practices swordsmanship. I started practicing sword at the age of 4. Since childhood, I've been alone, without friends or companions. My father was very strict with me. He often confined me to the house and didn't let me go out to play. So I could only stay at home alone, honing my swordsmanship. I was confined to the dark sword tomb for several years, not eating or drinking, only listening to the ancient swords talk. Getting to know them, imploring them, all for the purpose of pulling out a life-bound flying sword suitable for myself. Hearing this, Han Yi seemed to understand a bit why it was so easy for her to ascend to the immortal mountain.